ready, go ahead.
All right, we'll call the meeting to order. Jen, would you take roll, please?
Commissioner Corbin?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson?
Here.
Commissioner Waldner? Commissioner Abraham?
Here.
Mayor Lindsay?
Here. You have attached the July 21st minutes. Are there any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of July 21st.
Go ahead. I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You have before you the agenda for this evening's meeting. Are there any additions or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Appearances, acknowledgements, and correspondence. We have Julie Gross in the audience from the Lake Area Improvement Corporation to give us an update. Okay.
Floyd Rubble, the president of the board, is supposed to be coming, but I don't know where he's at. You want to come, Jeff?
Hey.
Sure, I'd be happy to.
Sure,
Floyd can join
very
us.
good. Hey,
You can listen up.
yeah. Yeah, so,
All right. Well, thank you for having me. First off, I'll just do a quarterly update, kind of an overview of what's been happening since May. We had the Integra groundbreaking in May, and construction is well underway if you've been in an industrial park. I've been making several visits to manufacturers. The businesses are all strong, they're all hiring. You probably are aware of that. I've had four different people from the Governor's Office of Economic Development here over the last couple of months, meeting with businesses, meeting with prospects, and so that's been really nice. We had three areas, I have 3 areas in the industrial park that had some wetlands, and I thought you'd just pass that around and kind of look at it.
Thank you.
Yeah, we hired an engineer from Sioux Falls to do a wetland delineation, and we received his results, and he said that we could fill the wetlands. He felt we could, so then we sent his report to the Army Corps of Engineers, and then they came here in June and did a site visit, and they also determined that they were non-jurisdictional, which means that they can be filled. So then we had to wait for the letter from the Corps, and that had to go through the EPA, but we did receive the letter, and so we're moving forward, and in those 3 areas, we can fill the wetlands. This letter is good for 5 years, so we have 5 years to fill it. We would like to fill the wetlands before the 5 years is up, just in case there are any changes, but they say that we should be good for 5 years. We have spent countless hours in meetings on a potential spec building, which kind of falls right in between, I grabbed this too, which falls right about where those wetlands are. This is where we're proposing a spec building. So we have spent a lot of hours over the last few months having meetings on what size, the location, how to best utilize this lot. And so we think we have a good plan, and we're having soil borings done this week, and we hope to send it out for bids, hopefully in the next week or 2. We currently do not have an existing building for manufacturing, and that can be a problem, because when businesses are looking, they often want to know that you have a building, and sometimes to even get them to your community, they want to see a building. Sometimes they end up building their own, but even if we look at Global Polymer, we had a building, and that's when they came here. We got them here for a building. It was the old Proco building. That's now what they ended up in, but I showed that building again and again because we had a building. So we really do feel that we need a building, so that's been a big chunk of our time. And then we are also researching this Design South Dakota, which you'd have a group of architecture students from SDSU that would come to your community, and they kind of make a model of your community. They hold community meetings, and then they give you a plan. This costs about $50,000, but because it's all done through SDSU and this Design South Dakota, we can get it for under $10,000. So we're just in the research phases of this. They're currently doing it in Webster, and I've been watching them in Webster to see if they're so far very pleased with it, but I don't know if this is something we're going to move forward with or not, but we're just researching it. And then also, I just wanted to let you know, you probably saw it, but we did achieved certified ready status, and I just wanted to bring the book to show you that this is what we submitted to GOED. You guys are welcome to come and look at it anytime, but this just shows everything about our industrial park. There's a phase 1 in there. It talks about the water, it talks about all the utilities, where everything is. So this was a big deal for us to get this done. I talked to somebody the other day who said that they've been working on theirs for 17 months, and I know that I started it when I started in 2012. I didn't work on it consistently, but I put it away for a while and took it back out. It was a big process, so we're thrilled with that. So anyway, that's my quarterly report. Any questions?
Very good.
Okay.
No,
And Floyd
very
is here
good.
also. So I'd just like to introduce Floyd, the president of our board, and Jeff Bloom, who's the president-elect.
No, very good. Very good.
So you want me just to move right into my,
We don't need any action on that per se, so yes, you can move right on into the budget request for
Okay.
next year.
try to be cognizant of the time, and if you have any questions as we're going through this, please feel free to stop and ask. But I just thought I'd give you kind of an overview of what we've been doing the last 2 years. I know sometimes, I've been coming for quarterly updates, but sometimes we forget everything that's kind of going on. Just a little history, the Development Corporation started in 1969, and it was started by just businesses and industries, and where the city and the county and individuals put in money to start a development corporation, and it was incorporated in 1975. So, once again, I thank you for being a partner for the last, I believe, 12 years. You have, for sure it's been 12 years that you guys have supported the LAC. So I appreciate your partnership, and thank you for the financial support that you have continued to provide. I didn't realize until I always knew that the board and the city and everybody put their heart and soul into economic development, because that's a word that gets thrown around all the time, but I don't think I realized it until I sat in this job and realized how much we rely on the city. I mean, I work with, this book couldn't have been done without Chad and Fred. There's a letter from them and Dennis Poppin in the book, relying on our board. We have a board of 12, and they are a very active board. They don't just talk about economic development, they definitely do it. They spend countless hours, and at times they vote, yes, let's bring that business here, and they go to meetings with all these businesses when it's in direct competition with them. And I just think that's really great that they do that. But anyway, our goal, as you know, is to grow our population and create jobs. And so these are kind of the points that we've went over the last 2 years. But the industrial park, we utilized our grant, and we extended Industry Avenue. We used a grant for part of that. We had to pay for part of that also. We got ourselves to put a certified ready status. Global Polymer will be moving here. They are currently, they have most, I think, of their new machines put together in the facility. We took a tour about 3 weeks ago, I think. And they're starting to move machines from Arlington here. They have to do all the tests with the chillers and everything to make sure that everything is up and running. But they should be up and running soon. I hate to say a date, because every time I say a date, it's wrong. But they've been continually hiring, many from Madison. I believe they're at about that 150 point. They hope to be at 200 in 2 to 3 years. I think when they come here, they will want to hire an additional 25 people. And so it's been fun to watch that progress. Bulldog Media Power Promotions, we have a loan fund, and we were able to assist them with a loan which allowed them to renovate and expand their services, both Power Promotions and Bulldog Media. Advantanon is a small company that's still renting some office space at DSU. They've opened a branch office in Madison. They hope to grow their business and move outside into the community. Time will tell. Fin City, we work very closely with them to help them secure a location for their operations. and our office assisted in many aspects of their planning process. US Salt, we've worked very closely with them, along with Chad has helped out a lot with them. We facilitated the purchase of their vacant building. They should be operational by this fall. They're a little bit behind, they've had a lot of flooding where he's at in Minnesota, and so, he's been really busy. What he thought he was gonna do here in June, he was busy with flooding in Minnesota, so by fall, they should be operational. Powder Specialties, we assisted in that sale of equipment, which helped maintain a business here in town. And they're doing really good, and they have expanded. There's, like Brookings doesn't have a powder coater, so they're able to go there and bring some business here. So they've been doing well and expanding. Integra Plastics, as you know, if you've been in the industrial park lately, that building, I was just out there a little bit ago, it's looking awesome. We sold that land to them. When that is up and going, they should employ at least 15 additional people, and that building, as you recall, is in addition to their current building. The Encore Family Store, we assisted in the coordination of demolishing the Jensen building, and they're well underway, also, which probably with a September, October timeframe of when they will open. Our rental property, everything is full right now. I do visits with them. We've been trying to keep our lease agreements, efficient and cost effective, and we're very pleased that we're full. Housing, as you know, we purchased 5 empty lots, we sold the land, and there's 28 townhomes. At the beginning of July, 14 were completed and 10 were moved into right away. And the remaining 14 were ready this fall. I don't know the exact date, but I do know that 4 of them are already leased. So that's very good news. And then, as you know, over by Tom Standard, or it was the Tom Standard area across from Bachman Park, both the house and the little Tom Standard station are gone. So they just need to get the Quonset out of there, and then that'll be all. There'll be a new building there, a new storage building where the Quonset was, and they'll be doing renovations for an additional 14 townhomes. And I'm working with Brenda on that. Advantage South Dakota, we helped with that, participate in a bus tour for recruiters to come to our community, and we're always looking for job fairs or different ways that we can help our employers get more people here, because bringing recruiters to our town is just one way we can do that. Madison Downtown and Beyond, as you know, we came here with our PowerPoint presentation, and we're just working on the next steps with that, which Design South Dakota could be a part of that. I don't know, because it's just really early stages with Design South Dakota. We feel we have enhanced our partnership between the city and the county by giving quarterly updates. The same with DSU. We've hosted different technology businesses, and we've had the DSU staff involved in all of those. We have been maintaining a great working relationship with the Governor's Office of Economic Development. As I said earlier, I've had 4 of them here in the last 2 months. We participate in shows with them. We hosted a workshop. And then last year, the Chamber and I had, our office had our first ever South Dakota Manufacturing Week, and we hosted tours here. And so Rosie and I will be meeting about that soon, and we hope to expand on that and have an even better South Dakota Manufacturing Week. And actually, the GUED rep, I heard her say a week ago that of all of her communities, Madison had the best one last year, so we've got to try to top that again. We have an IRP loan fund. We have approved a couple of loans. We continue to manage that portfolio. If you will recall, we received $750,000 from USDA, and then we have to match some of the funds for those loans, and then we have a revolving loan fund as money gets paid back in. So we still have money to run out. Anybody who wants to and when we look at some of these things here, it's hard sometimes to see the impact, but if you look at these, if you look at just, even, Global Polymer and Integra, the jobs, there's jobs at the businesses and construction workers, there's property tax, there's sales tax, equipment purchases, the school system, it brings more people in, there's housing, groceries, not to consider all the vendors that come in, like with Global, all the different vendors in the business context that visit Madison. So those are some of the things we've been involved in. There's a ton of things happening, as you know, growth spurs growth, and, you know, all around town, economic development is growing like crazy, and there's many things that we have not been directly involved with at all that are happening, you know, the hospital, ICAP, Bethel, you know, the DSU, the hospital purchase, the F&M, the elevator. We weren't involved in any of that, and there's great things happening all around. Looking ahead, we would like to build a spec building. Like I said, we've been taking the steps for that, having many meetings. We would love to be able to start construction on October 1st with a spring 2015 completion date. The building, as you see, would be constructed between Integra and B&G. We're looking at a 100-by-200, like I said, and we just feel really strongly that we need a spec building. Actually, we were talking about a spec building at our meeting last Tuesday, and the guy from GOD came to present our certificate, so he sat there for about 20 minutes of our meeting. And he didn't tell us at the time, but later on, after everybody left, he said that, you know, after 25 years, he just feels that every community should have a spec building. And so he was really excited that we were talking about spec, because we don't have one. So that is kind of an overview, and then you'll see attached to that would be our budget. No, I had some notes written down, but it's this age thing, I'm getting that. Okay. Do you have any questions on any of those items? Wish I should ask them. Okay, so if we
No.
look at the income,
It's very exciting for Madison.
it is, there's a lot of
It is.
exciting things happening. Under our income, we have, you know, the city of Madison, for the last 12 years, you've given us $140,000, and we would request the same amount again. And then,
You all have a copy
they
attached.
have that, and we would request that same amount again. And then there was an amount given for Forward Madison 1 for 5 years, and then there was a break for a year, and then we asked for Forward Madison 2 money, and we are to come back each year for that. So 2 years now, well, Forward Madison has been going 3 years, 2015 will be the 4th year, but it would be the 3rd year that the city would be involved in this, if the city once again chooses to proceed. And that amount was $120,000. So even though we're in the 4th year, the city would be in the 3rd year of giving. As you can see, the Forward Madison 2 income, $181,000 total, or I mean, $301,000, $181,000 is from investors in 2015, and then $120,000 would be from the city. And then you see our different expenses down there. We have new business and attraction, retention, that's for advertising, marketing, hosting, projects. Our investor relations are things like our annual meeting, investor meeting. Marketing is paper, radio, other projects. Retail, that's just an estimate, you know, we use our survey. If we would do the Design South Dakota, that would come out of there. We have payroll, taxes, insurance, and benefits. And our office operations are things like the copier, computer support, depot maintenance. Professional services, we are audited, and you guys should have a copy of our audit. So you're welcome to look at that at any time. I believe it's posted online also. Next year, it's gonna cost a little bit more for our audit, because we've had to move into a new category, because we've received more money from USDA that we're loaning it out, but because it just put us into a different category, we have to do an A-133 audit, which is gonna cost a little more money. Our leased properties, our industrial park, and then we did put in that we feel like we need to put about $100,000 down on our, that building. To try to, and we don't have the exact, we don't have any bids on it yet, we only can. We're gonna have to do quite a bit of site work out there, just because, that area is a little bit low, but we wanna fill it while we have the okay from the Corps to fill it, so.
Very good.
You know, and we only wanna fill those areas while there is lots of activity, where there's possibilities that we can use some of the dirt that's being moved around the community. we may be able to use for that at a reduced cost, so.
Mhm.
And that spot that is there will be the proposed site, plus that's the spot that needs to fill, about 4,800
Cubic yards.
cubic yards of fill, so. It's not a lot, and it's, you know, it's been hayed the last few years, so it's not a slough or anything like that, it's just a little spot.
But it's easier to fill when it's dry than when it's,
Yeah, and we have
Yes.
the permission of the
Mhm.
state and all the.
yeah, that's nice. Oh, very good. Very
No-
good.
No grass grows under Julie's feet.
Nope,
We, you know,
nope,
we
nope.
work really hard, you know, and she's working in conjunction with all the local entities within the community, the chamber, you know, we truly feel like we're the marketing arm, reaching out, you know, for the city. And, Madison has so many good things. Quality of life is huge, you know, within the LAIC. It's not just jobs, it's not just bring more people to Madison, it's all about the quality of life and, you know, continuing to tout that, you know, within South Dakota and the surrounding area. So, we work hard at it. We would certainly welcome any questions, too.
Questions or
It's
comments?
a great presentation, thank you.
Yes, yes. And it is so exciting to see activity in all parts of town, you know, and all venues, you know, in the town, you know. So housing and jobs and, you know, DSU's activities and the high school's activities and, you know, the city parks and rec and, you know, so it's exciting to see, you know, that there's jobs in just about any area that you want to be interested in Madison now. That's a nice thing to see.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Mhm.
Well, I know you just accepted tonight and you won't be actually voting on it for probably another month. That's why I thought I should.
It will be, yeah, it will become part of our, you know, budget when we start working with budget.
So between now
So-
and then, if any of you have any questions, please, you know, if you think of something, definitely call me, stop over.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Can we please acknowledge
Could we
the
get a,
request, though?
that's just what I was going to ask
Yes.
for, a motion to acknowledge the 2015 budget request from the
So
LAIC?
moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
very much.
Number 3, acknowledge the June investment report, gross salaries and bills for ratification.
I'd make a motion to acknowledge the June investment report, gross salaries, and bills for ratification.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And I do want to just acknowledge that the Chamber of Commerce was also represented here tonight by Rosie, so
She will be back next week with her budget request.
very good.
She was busy
Under
this
old
weekend.
business,
She was busy this last week.
yes. Under old business, seeing none, we'll move on to new business. Declare as surplus property and appoint appraisers for scrap iron and pipe. And Dennis, is that your department?
Yeah, what it is just, is upgrades we're doing, taking the overhead down, switching to underground. It's the old overhead line material,
Mm-hmm.
so we got conduit and hardware off the poles and then wire off the poles.
And we have a group of appointees for the appraisal.
Please. 2 separate ones here, if we can, please. We do
Yep.
have scrap pipe iron and scrap wire.
Okay. And
Want me to do it?
Do you want to do it?
I
Let's get
will
to
make
it,
a
guys.
motion to declare surplus property and appoint appraisers Jeremiah Corbin, Dennis Pop, and Chad Comus for scrap pipes / iron.
Second.
we have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Declare as surplus property and appoint appraisers for scrap wire.
I would make a motion to declare the surplus property and appoint appraisers of Jeremiah, Dennis, and Chad.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Seeing no announcements or other business, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Hey, we are adjourned.